Hello everyone and welcome back to the second round of the 23 race season. This is the preview and predictions video where I'm going to go over a little overview of the track, historical data, stats and all that, any changes made. We'll go over the weather forecast, when the race is, the tyre compounds available, and I'm going to give you any news or driver team updates. We'll go over the championship, and as always I'm going to give you my qualifying and race predictions with possible potential strategies during the race. So this is the second round of the 23 race season. It's a street circuit which is built on public roads rather than a purpose-built track. The Jeddah circuit is one of the fastest and longest tracks on the calendar, 800 meters shorter than the Spa-Francorchamps. It has an average speed of 250 kilometers per hour or 155 miles per hour. Jeddah has more corners than any other race on the calendar with 27, although most of them or many of them are small kinks or can be taken easily flat out. It debuted in the calendar in December 2021 with Hamilton winning from pole. Last year it was Max Verstappen who won the race, starting from 4th position. It was Perez who took the pole position. Red Bull were the fastest car on a straight line last year. On this track, Perez clocked 335 kilometers per hour on qualifying. So speed is very important in this track. There have been a few track changes, however. In about 5 corners, the walls and fences have been moved further back, about 2 to 7 meters, and extended the runoff area. And they have added rumble strips on the inside of curves, which does help drivers stay on track. The walls at turn 8 and 10 have also been adjusted. This was where Schumacher had this terrible accident in qualifying last year. Specifically, barriers at turns 14 and 20 have been moved further back. These were previously very fast blind corners. So overall, the visibility and the safety will be greatly improved. Also, the sequence of turns from 21, 22 to 23 have also been tightened to reduce the cornering speeds roughly for about 30 kilometers per hour. That was where Schumacher had this big accident as well during the race in the 2021 season. New beveled curbs have also been added to several corners to overall improve the safety. We have to remember that this track was built during the 2021 era of cars, and they didn't work well with the new ground effect cars, as when cars got over the curve they could lose control easily. So yeah, they've modified the curbs. Overall, these changes will make the track relatively slower, but improve the viewability and safety. However, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix CEO, Mr. Whitaker, he does believe that the actual lap times will slightly reduce this year. Another key change for this year has been changes to the third DRS detection zone. So in the previous 2 years, it's been at the entry of the final corner, but this year it's been moved to the exit of the last corner. This was to just stop the cat and mouse situation that has been happening. So we were seeing unusual tactics, for example with Charles Leclerc and Verstappen last year. They were letting the other car, basically they were backing off to let the other car through so they could get the advantage of the DRS. So there will be none of that this year, so I'm glad actually. As to the weather for this weekend, Saudi Arabia being in a desert climate, it's no surprise there won't be any rain. There's less than 20% chance on Saturday, but definitely Sunday will be a dry race. The most significant thing to remember is that it is on the coast, and large high-speed winds are expected. So I think that can make the cornering speeds even trickier. As to the tyre compounds, Bahrain has a very different characteristics to Jeddah. So whereas in Bahrain it was more about braking and traction and tyre management, in Jeddah it's more about, it's got a smoother tarmac, so it doesn't wear off the tyre as much. So I think that would benefit teams that have struggled a bit more with the tyre management. So it does focus more on the lateral forces, because there are several high-speed corners. So this year for this track is a step softer. So the tyre compounds available are the C2, C3 and C4. And a one-stopper race is the fastest strategy, or it was last year, with the top 10 all doing a one-stop. The only notable news this weekend is the 10-grid penalty for Charles Leclerc for changing for the third time the electronic components unit. So looking at the championship standings now, it's worth remembering that Red Bull has led every single lap of the season so far. It's just been one race, but yes. Of course, Verstappen is number 1 with 25 points, Perez number 2 with 18 points, and actually Fernando Alonso stands third in the championship with 15 points. As to the constructors, the Red Bull leads with 43 points, Aston Martin is second with 23 points, and Mercedes third in the championship with 16 points. So thinking about the weekend predictions and potential race strategies, it's worth remembering that the probability of the safety car so far is 100%. So most drivers will be banking on that opportunity. I think that there'll be a tricky situation where drivers don't want to risk being undercut, so they don't want to delay going into the pit stop, because you run the risk of being undercut, and that's quite powerful. So someone can stop before you, and by the time you react the next lap, you'll come behind. But equally, drivers won't want to miss out on a potential safety car or coming into the pits just before a safety car comes out. So it'll be an interesting situation. I think drivers that do take care, or cars that do take care of the tires, might be more flexible in this regard. So I think we've got to watch out for Red Bull again and Aston Martin. As to my biggest surprise of the weekend, I think we're gonna see an Alfa Romeo do quite well, actually. And for me, the biggest disappointment of the weekend will be Mercedes. I think we've been getting a bit more encouragement recently that the track's going to benefit more because of their straight line speed's been improved and the changes they've brought for this weekend. But last year they didn't do great, and I don't expect this track to suit them either. For pole position, my prediction is that unfortunately it's going to be Max Verstappen. It's a bit boring, but I think he didn't take it last year, but this year he'll take it. And if I had to do a crazy prediction, the crazy prediction would be a boring race with no safety car. So that would be something. Nonetheless, for the race, in P3 my prediction is Charles Leclerc. We have to remember that I think the Ferrari will be suited for this track. They have almost the best top speed this year, but he's starting on with a 10-grid place penalty, so it'll be difficult for him to do much more than that. And I think based on the Aston Martin being the second fastest car, I do expect this time round Alonso beating Perez and going second. And it's no surprise that I expect Max Verstappen to take P1. So that's it. What do you think? Who do you think will be on pole position? Who do you think will win the race? As always, please comment, like and subscribe for more F1 content.